Hello, Shamash.
Hello, hello, Joe, joyful Joe.
Somehow all these conversations, they somehow all start with a laugh. That's not my intention, but somehow somehow they just do, you know.
Are you sure it's not your intention? Were you planning to start it miserably?
Thank you. Yes, it's not my conscious intention. It just so happens, you know.
Yeah.
So, Shamash, it's wonderful having this conversation with you.
Mhm.
We've known each other for a few years now.
Yeah.
It's probably about, I don't know, maybe sort of 7 or 8. Um, um, and our paths crossed sort of through the laughter yoga world. But
Yeah.
you, of course, are the author of the book Mindfulness for Dummies.
Yes.
And mindfulness is very much it's very much your passion and your thing, and you have this group called sort of Teach Mindfulness.
Yep.
Um, and the other thing that I always sort of remember when I think of you is you are the co-founder of the Museum of Happiness.
Yes, that's correct.
And I discovered as we were having our little chat just now, you've also you created a whole sort of series of sort of community videos for and through Facebook. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Shamash, for taking the time to have this little conversation.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm enjoying it more and more every second. This is lovely.
So this conversation, it's about joy, right? And so my first, and there are just the two basic questions. And the first question, Shamash, is what is joy to you? What does joy mean to you?
For me, joy is a feeling. It's a feeling of elation. And I've been very excited at the moment thinking about tiny actions. And actually, I've been reading this book at the moment called Tiny Habits. Really recommend it.
Okay.
And joy is actually, he's a great researcher on behavior change. And he says that whenever we have a moment of joy or a feeling of joy, it helps to wire positive behavior. So he says this is one of the breakthroughs. He describes it as a moment of celebration. And when we have a moment of joy, it releases a chemical in our brain, dopamine, and it tells our brain that this was a good thing and it's worth doing it again. So I've been experimenting with this. Like, when I get back into a meditation habit, I would just do one mindful breath and then maybe just gently smile. And I just experienced a very small moment of joy, and I'm much more likely to do it again. So joy is actually a very real thing. It actually creates a change in our body and our brain. And it's a really great tool that we can use to create a behavior change and create our lives in the way that we want them to go. So I think it's really, really powerful. I've underestimated how powerful it is actually until recently.
How fantastic. I mean, so much you're just saying all the kind of things that are sort of music to my ears, right? Because I agree, for a lot of people, it is something that has been, everybody sort of loves the feeling, right? But they don't, in my experience, they haven't really fully valued and understood how important it is, not just as a nice feeling, but how it's actually very practical.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps us sort of keep doing sort of more of the wonderful things, or the things that are wonderful for us in our life. Fantastic, Shamash. This conversation is full of gems. It's amazing. You've kind of answered the second question, certainly implicitly. But the second question is, of course, how important is it to you?
Yeah, it is. As I say, it's becoming increasingly important for me. Before, I did think of it as just a nice kind of, almost like an icing on the cake. It's like a nice thing to have. I thought some people are more joyful than others, and it's nice, positive experience to have now and then. But now I'm realizing that if I want to cultivate a kind of life that I'm passionate about, a kind of life I want to lead, then I can actually use moments of what BJ Fogg calls celebration, moments of celebration, yes. mini moments. It could be a smile, it could be a yes, it could be a woohoo, however you do it. But it's actually a skill that we need to learn and develop. And if we use it in a skillful way, we can help to start changing our behavior in a way that's good for us. For example, today I'm trying to get more into the habit of going for a walk every day,
Yeah.
no matter how much it's raining. And
Yep.
so my little activity is to put my trainers on after I've done my morning work and just celebrate that. And then if I end up going outside, that's great. And if not, no worries. But just to have that small moment of joy for just doing a small action. And I'm finding it's really working and it's really valuable. So I'm excited to explore it more.
Okay, so I've been running I run sort of twice weekly Zooms on because for me it's laughter yoga for joy, and actually for me it's about the joy, and for me the pathway of joy is reconnecting with the joy inside us. Okay. And the things you mentioned about sort of saying yes, and the kind of and the moments of celebration, these are all the things we do. These are all the things we do. And it's fantastic, isn't it? You know, how these little things, these little moments just kind of add so much.
But interestingly, this research is saying that it's going to be as big as the world of mindfulness and the world of gratitude is the science on what he called celebration, which cultivates moments of joy. He thinks this is going to be taught as often as the skills of gratitude and mindfulness, because they're so key to helping us kind of cultivate positive behavior in our lives, which is so important. You know, things like exercise and nutrition and, you know, practicing gratitude and practicing mindfulness and all these other things. If we don't do them, then nothing can change. Yeah. And we can use joy as a tool to help us to encourage ourselves to do it.
Amazing. This is an amazing conversation, Shamash. Well, shall we sort of just, you know, in our own random way, just share a bit of sort of joy and gratitude backwards and forwards with each other now?
Yeah. Well, I would like to say thank you so much for this conversation. I was a little bit joyful, but now I'm extremely joyful. So thank you so much.
Okay. What might be a nice sort of conclusion to this to this sort of chat is, do you remember the from your laughter yoga involvement, there's a little sort of it's a little routine, like, so it goes very good, yay. Shall we finish with one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Yay! Shamash, thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation.
Thank you. High five.
High five.